get a fast car. I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove. You got a fast car. I got a plan to get us out of here. Been working at the convenience store. Managed to save just a little bit of money. Won't have to drive too far. Just cross the border and into the city. You and I can both get jobs and finally see what it means to be living. See, my old man's got a problem. Yeah, but the bottle, that's the way it is. He says his body's too old for working. His body's too young to look like his. My mama went off and left him. She wanted more from life than he could give. I said, somebody's got to take care of him. So I quit school and that's what I did. You got a fast car. Is it fast enough so we can fly away? We gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way. So I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights stay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. Had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. We go cruise and entertain ourselves. Still ain't got a job. Now work in the market as a checkout girl. I know things will get better. You'll find work and I'll get promoted. We'll move out of the shelter, buy a bigger house and live in the suburbs. So I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. Had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. I got a job that pays all our bills. You sell drinking late at the bar. See more your friends than you do your kids. I'd always hope for better. Thought maybe together you and me find it. I got no plans, I ain't going nowhere. So take your fast car and keep on driving. So I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights stay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. Had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone.
All honor and respect and all happiness and joy once again. We're now into the shock of the hour. Give thanks for your presence with us. The shock of the hour, as you know, is an extremely grievous thing. The international flavor, the universal spice radio, and we're definitely kicking it with you, and I'm very thankful for your presence with us. Again, Honorable Priest Isaac, of course, you're in the Tiger's Nest. And for those who have not subscribed to the radio program and those who have not subscribed to the shock of the hour, you definitely should subscribe to the shock of the hour. Remember, that's how you definitely get a copy of the program straight in your inbox, right in your email. That is exactly what will happen each and every day after the shock of the hour is completed. When we are done, the recorded program comes straight to your inbox, and you could see it the same night or the next morning. It is right there, sealed, signed, and delivered for you to definitely digest or just live, on the words and the inspiration and music and everything that comes with it. So subscribe to the monthly Shock of the Hour. You can subscribe for a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year. It is up to you. The Shock of the Hour will be here. All you have to do is contact us via the email, which is priestisaac27@gmail.com. That's priestisaac27@gmail.com. And just desire to hook up, and the Shock of the Hour, it's only $50 per month for the information that you'll be getting. Keeping in mind, you're getting the program itself. This is almost 20 hours worth of information every month coming through you, as this nightly program, after being recorded, comes to you, plus the benefits that come with it. All the side work, if you want to call it that we also do. Our documentaries, our video lectures, our videos, our events, and even our books. Once you are a subscriber, you definitely know you partake of every single thing else that we have floating around. So give thanks for your presence this evening. What I want to do this evening here, very key. Again, I must be thankful for all those who partook of our winter solstice. The energy is still with I. And of course, we are looking forward to the 21st day of March. Once again, remember, 21st day of March, we're talking about the equinox, the spring equinox for the 23rd day of March. So I'm still encouraging everyone to look into their flights now. Don't wait until March, don't even wait until February. Do it now, go and check because this is when you're going to get the cheaper flights. And this is as positive can get. We're still working on our itinerary, still putting things in order for the event, but it's never too late, of course, or too early, I should say. It's never too early. You could just contact us again via the email and let us know your interest. Let us know your interest in coming and joining us in Antigua for the spring equinox this time around now, as we go up to Greencastle Hill. And as I said, I would encourage you to set your flight for the 19th, where the activities will begin on the 20th, and we intend to seal it up for the 24th, basically just 5 days this time, unlike the winter solstice, which was 7 days. Some event, as I told the person that was interviewing me on an interview there, some events may be 3 days, just depending on the atmosphere. Tonight I want you to just listen to some commentary given by a rabbi from the Kingdom of Kings Academy, Rabbi Akwetwi Amanhi, or Amah. I hope I pronounce it in a respectful way, in the proper way. And he will be speaking, in general, he will be speaking about the transatlantic slave trade. I may not actually go into the full interview, or the full discourse, I should say. But I really wanted to project a lot of what he said at the beginning as it relates to slavery. Many of us speak about Africa practicing slavery even before slavery, Not the fact that Africans sell Africans into slavery, which he talks about that as well. He touches upon that, but just the fact that we partook of slavery before the Caucasians came and brought us into slavery. So don't just blame the white people for slavery, because we had our people in slavery before. You could see I stressed the word slavery, because we're talking English, and let's get into this, and let's hear what the rabbi is saying, and then I'll say what I gotta say. Shock of the hour, mystic vibration.
Slavery, in one way or the other, has been with man since time immemorial. And for that reason, we had an idea of slavery in Ghana before the foreigners arrived. But how slavery was structured in our culture was not the same as introduced by the foreigners. The person who was a slave was seen as a servant. This person in most cases had rights. This person could get married, raise free children, acquire property, and became a free person after paying off his or her debt. It was actually very difficult to identify a slave from a free man because he or she was sheltered, clothed, and fed. Another uniqueness of the idea of slaves in our culture was that a slave could...
Before we get to that, let us just take that in one more time. Please pardon me, but it's easy for a lot of things to just go over our head, you know? Especially if the accent is a bit different. We want to get everything clear.
Slavery, in one way or the other, has been with man since time immemorial.
Now, some people would disagree with that statement off the bat. Even I myself, when I heard him say that straight, as the first thing I heard, I said, yeah, slavery in one form or the other has been with us since time immemorial, says Brother Amma, the good rabbi here. Okay. All right. Whether that be so or not, and I mean, time immemorial, maybe it has been with us for time immemorial, but I don't think it has been with us from the beginning of time. Yeah.
And for that reason, we had an idea of slavery in Ghana before the foreigners arrived.
So we had an idea of slavery in Ghana before the foreigners arrived.
But how slavery was structured in our culture was not the same as introduced by the foreigners.
Now I have to just walk this through with you a bit. Please pardon me. But how slavery was structured, we're still using this term here, because this is what we understand. But I'm sure if he starts to speak his native language, the word that he would be using for slavery would be not equated at all to the word slavery as we know it, and whatever else it's called in a European tongue. That's why we have to differentiate now through explanations and definitions the difference between your slavery and my slavery. And in my book, in the Rule of Tongue, what we went through in the transatlantic slave trade, if that is slavery, nobody else went through no slavery nowhere else. You can't compare that to nothing else and give it the name, not even the so-called Holocaust. You cannot compare that to nothing else and try to balance it out as if, well, this is slavery and that is slavery. Even so-called modern day slavery, I'm sorry, no disrespect, as you know, I'm strongly against so-called modern day slavery. Slavery is slavery. But I'm just showing you what we call slavery. And we know what we're talking about. We're talking about ships coming over from the west coast of Africa, across the Atlantic Ocean to the Western world. That's what we're talking about, and sugar and cane and rum and cotton and whatever else. That's what we're talking about, and hanging and lynching and burning and ripping and raping and exploitation and diamonds and golds. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, and hang them up high. You can't compare and rip the woman belly open when the child is 8 months pregnant in the womb. You can't compare that to nothing else. That wicked, demonic, savage, yet still well thought out, plot and planned and executed method of creating some seriously enslaved people that they call slavery. There's nothing on earth. There's nothing in your history books that you can compare to that. Maybe the only thing is because Europe dreaded it, man. The Europeans dealt with the Europeans some dreadful way, said way, you know. All them Inquisition these medieval dark ages and so. Talking about some real nasty behavior. But I'm just showing you though that in reality you can't compare. And now listen to what the good brother is saying. I'm so sorry to cut you, but I mean, yeah, the vibe's just hitting me already here, man.
The person who was a slave was seen as a servant. This person in most cases had rights. This person could get married, raise free children, acquire property, and became a free person after paying off his or her debt.
No, hear this now. Okay. Now, and became a free person after paying off his or her debt. Even them words, free. Them people free already. Listen, hold on. Just take your time. Let's forget about the paying off the debt and becoming free. A slave was seen more as a servant. That's what it is. I don't know how they come to attach this word, slave, to our business, and that's our problem. And some of us, some real coons, Rasta, some real raccoons, sticking up for these foolish mishaps in their lingua, talking about, oh, we had slaves in Africa too. That's why, you see some people very, they're upset with me when I don't like to address certain subjects. Well, as you see, I'm addressing it now. But sometimes I just put it aside because some people bring up these dumb subject areas. What should we use in the pot? Garlic or chives? Well, Africans sold Africans into slavery too. What does that have to do with the conversation? Just like how that come out of the blue. That's how people bring that up. Especially your old. And as if I'm supposed to stop speaking about cooking the pot to entertain that. So we're addressing some of that now. Properly, in a scholarly manner. We're looking at etymology, at the study of words, the vocabulary. A slave, as the good brother says, the good rabbi, pardon me, says, and my brother, a servant was seen, a slave was seen as a servant, because that's what it is. In this context, a maid is a slave. In this context, a gas station employee pumping gas is a slave. Listen to this. They had rights. They could get married and raise children. And they could acquire property. Come on, what are you talking about? What kind of slave acquiring any property anyway? And all of this could be done before they bought their so-called freedom. Boy, just give me. Nobody getting whipped here, man. This is not Arabia neither, They take down the video I did, you know that. They took down the video I did showing you how our black sisters are suffering. In Lebanon, in Jordan, in Saudi Arabia, them wicked crocodiles. I do not care, man. That's my sisters, man. You see, some of you, you're numb. You're dead. You can't feel nothing. You don't care. Trouble me, man. You just don't care. You don't care about nobody. You don't care about your own sister. Your sisters, brother. Them is your sisters. Banging them in the head with broomsticks. Raping them. Tears are in my eyes as I speak. You cannot understand. Those are your sisters. And YouTube just come and take down the video. Anybody ever wrote them? Any one of you ever write YouTube and say, why you take down the video for? It was showing us how our sisters, our mothers' children are being raped by the Arabs today, last year, yesterday, tomorrow, if the judgment of the Most High will lick them all out and kill them now. Hate speech alert. But I'm just saying here that this isn't slavery. This is not slavery. I don't know what happened. Somebody trick us and have us using the word slavery with what we went through, and still using the word slavery with our tradition. It may be a political procedure, decision made to go through this procedure that some people may not have liked, but it was no heavy serfdom and servitude and no chain around your neck and chain around your. There's nothing tall like that. Oh, Africans had slaves too. Had rights. Married and children, married. And kind of quiet property. Oh man, look how we so dumb, man. That one little dumb word just have us the Slavs. The Slavs in them, man. The Slavs people from Europe, look what we playing with their name, confusing our ancient tradition with that wicked, evil act. Wicked, evil act. Maybe if I was, in such a position in Ghana, maybe I would have different views on it too. Maybe I would say, listen, it's time we end this whatever we call it, But it's not slavery though, for sure. Trust me. It ain't no slavery. It's just a different way of us expressing our tradition, Because remember, some of these people, you gotta understand. You would say, some of you would come up and say, but no, some of them people is people that catching in warfare and tribal warfare. That's even, that alone is even, that I don't even know if to say it makes it worse or it makes it better. Because we have a term here, in the Caribbean, we say, oh, well, that make it even worse. But then really, that doesn't make it worse. Maybe it make it worse for your argument, but it makes it better for me. Because exactly, that's a prisoner. We could have killed them, we could have had them in prison and feed them to the lions. But yet still we turn them into servants and pay them and give them rights and free them up to do what they want to do and build house and have property. Our prisoners. Check yourself, man. Black supremacy, man.
It was actually very difficult to identify a slave from a free man.
Here it is. Sorry, Rabbi. It was very difficult to identify a slave from a free man. Oh my. We're 35 seconds basically into the man's interview here. And the thing is, have already clutched onto my heart, where you could hear my passion expressed. You see, like a moment ago, you hear me start to speak soft. That's how sometimes even when you have children, you don't know how it is. I'm not into the beating thing, so you don't know how it goes. So I have intelligent children that I can speak to. In fact, my conversations with my conversation and with my children is way above my conversation with almost anybody else I know. I'm being very clear. So I don't know why I should be hitting them people here that have such high conversation, that teach me every single day. Not no little teach because, even a child can teach you business. I mean, real teach me. I say, Abba, which is me, the molecular structure of fluorine is and something, and just drop it on me like okay. All right, you know what I mean? So why should I, do that? I'm just showing you that, the brother is saying you cannot even tell the difference between a slave and even a free man. But obviously, still as children, the times you got to correct them and put things in order that they would understand they're being corrected too, obviously. And then there's some times where you just you just got to talk to them and let them understand where you're coming from. But there are times, and I've heard this about Haile Selassie I. There are times that the passion gets so heavy whether I'm upset, if you want to call it that, just for understanding's sake, or just like a moment ago, because this is why I brought up this example, to make this example, or a moment ago when you get so wrath that sometimes it's better that you whisper what you have to say. Believe me, because if you don't whisper it, it's gonna come out real different. Nothing wrong if it come out different, trust me. Nothing wrong to roar like the tiger and let your voice be heard and let your passion be felt. Nothing wrong with that at all. But as I say, just like the emperor, they say sometimes when the emperor get a way, like upset, then his voice would get soft. And there's an energy in that, when you can literally, hold that energy that you are releasing there in that capsule by just lessening your voice, man. Because the passion of this foolishness, hear what our good rabbi is telling us. You can't tell the difference between a slave and a free man. I can't believe this is what we're battling with, man. It's sad, As I said, this is why I'm doing this, Just because people always leaving comments here and there. Oh, we were slaves in Africa before we were slaves over here. Imagine that, big people. Oh, we used to keep us as slaves. Where you think the white people get slaves? We sell them our slaves.
She was sheltered, clothed, and fed.
Yes.
Another uniqueness of the idea of slaves in our culture was that a slave could become a royal.
Hold on. I was just going to say, brother, just keep talking. But hear that. A slave could become a royal. They're not slaves. A slave could become a royal. Sorry, go ahead, my brother.
A slave proved to have managerial abilities or military skill. This fellow could become the caretaker of his master's household.
Yeah.
And the descendants of such were royals.
Royal.
When a slave woman married into the system, they ceased to be slaves and then had royal descendants.
Oh, give me a break.
There were three basic ways one could become a slave. One, if you were a prisoner of war.
It is.
If one was convicted of certain offenses.
It is.
Or as a pawn given out for payments of debt.
No. Pawn for debt. For debt. Well, debt is debt, Convicted of an offense, certain offenses, prisoner of war. You doing them kind of things here. You are offended. You are convicted for certain things. You are a prisoner taken from the enemy side, and you end up. And if you just play cards right, I'd assume, yeah. And I don't think it's bowing and kissing whatever you have to kiss. You can become a royal. You can acquire land. And even if you don't get all of that, it's all right. You still have your rights. You're gonna get paid for your work. You could build a house once you can, balance yourself off. And it's not no minimum wage neither. You're well treated and well taken care of. And even still as a prisoner, we're still watching over you. What kind of thing is this? This is a wonderful slaves you call these people here? This is to show you what a civilized people we not were, but are. That's what you call civilization. That is the voodoo that Frantz Fanon spoke of in The Wretched of the Earth, where we had no word for prison. Frantz Fanon, who told us even in them ancient time, if a man was to look at his woman, his brother's woman, to look at her in a way that he know he should not have looked at her. Oh my, the man said that he would bring back a gift to the family and ask for forgiveness for his sins. That's voodoo. Witchcraft, as you would want to call it. Well, maybe not you, but you know what I mean. Voodoo. Have them kind of principles there. Frantz Fanon, noted scholar from Martinique or Guadeloupe, some people back low, but French Caribbean anyway you turn it. And he's showing you clearly now, that's the principles, that's the teachings of Christ. As Moses said, if a man committed fornication and adultery, XYZ, but I say unto you, verily, verily, brother, verily, verily, I say unto you straight up, yeah, verily, man. If a man even think about it, he has committed it already. That's the power of thought. That's the power of thought. That's the power of the thought. And that's what Christ was emitting and teaching. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's all good, man. So just understand that that's how we dealt. You may say, boy, you're gone off the subject. I write on the subject. I trying to show you how what a high civilization. This is just 1490 plus and 1480 this and 1470 that. Yeah, you check it out. So when them reptiles met us, when they came to the west coast of Africa, they saw a civilization of high moral standard. Them is high moral standard. But hush your mouth, man. Listen, don't get me upset. All of you that be talking about Africans sell Africans. All of you that be talking about Africans enslave their own people. Man, I love you. I mean, if you are my elder, trust me, no disrespect, but you need to hush your mouth now. Hush your mouth. You heard it from our good brother here, the rabbi. Just be quiet. Sit down. Cut it out. You're hurting our movements. You're wasting time. Cut it out. You act as if you are the mouthpiece of the master. Just done with that now, man. That's foolishness. That is why I do not entertain them kind of crap. You dig a hole for yourself as far as I see. Give thanks for the opportunity to show our young ones what a high, upstanding civilization that we had and have, because them kind of things are still practiced in pockets of Africa. Give thanks. Hip hip hooray. I shouldn't even say no hip hip and hooray. Who them people be? Check the vibration, you know. Sound like a Trinity there. Check the vibration. I'm showing you. Prisoners. John Henrik Clark uttered them words to us, said we never had words for old people home and never had words for rape and all of these things. The rabbi is bringing it to life. Frantz Fanon, same thing. The rabbi's word is bringing it to life. Prisoners, people you're fighting with in battle. Prisoners, man. Criminals. Our system was so reforming that we could trust them and it wasn't no mayhem and chaos. We could trust them because we know our Reformation system was so good that we could entrust them with royalty. We could entrust them with possessions on the level of anyone else because we had a system of balance. We wasn't into the poor people poverty thing. You know, but as human beings, you know what I mean? I mean, we have scuffles amongst each other, come on. The Egyptians and the Nubians didn't have their little play. Tahaka didn't have to come and enough of them people that fighting the Israelites in the Bible, they're black too, you know. Yeah, I mean, according to the understanding, ain't it so you go? So I'm just trying to show you, my brothers and sisters. Let's not get caught up, man. Them is, you know, Uncle Tom also, if you want to call it, kind of discussions, man.
This was the concept of slavery before the Portuguese came to Ghana in 1471 with the supposed intention to barter trade. I will explain why I say supposed intention to trade in the future. One thing the Portuguese wanted was gold, and the rate at which the locals were given the gold gave the Portuguese the impression that the town was in abundance of it. So they called the place Da Mina, meaning the mine. Because the locals could not pronounce Da Mina properly, the name morphed into Elmina. The original name, however, before the Portuguese arrived was Anum Ansa, meaning inexhaustible water. What we should realize is the Portuguese were taking Africans as slaves from West Africa long before they came to Ghana in 1471. The first time was in 1441, led by Antonio Gonzalez from a place they call Rio de Oro, River of Gold. The 12 slaves taken was to serve as proof or evidence that they had been to West Africa. Upon arrival to Portugal, the prince was excited for two reasons. One, they could educate the slaves, and then they would serve as interpreters when they came to trade in Africa. And two, they could be trained as missionaries to spread Christianity. But they never came back as intended or planned. And from 1441, no European came to West Africa without taking captives.
Wow.
So slaves were being captured 30 years before they got to Anomansa, Elmina, in 1471. 11 years later, the Elmina castle itself was built. That is why I said they supposedly came to barter trade in gold and ivory. But they also came for human trade because long before the castles was built, they were already trafficking slaves. It was suggested that the slaves that were taken was a favor to us because they were helping us become Christians, thereby saving our souls from going to hell.
Thanks so very much.
Everything changed when the Spaniards got to what they call the New World. Upon getting to the New World, gold and silver mines were opened, sugar, tobacco, and cotton plantations were established. But as much as they wanted the world, they were not prepared to do the hard work, so they subjected the natives to do the hard labor. Espanola brutality, overwork, and the effect of European diseases decimated the indigenous population and were near extinction. Bartolomeo de las Casas, a Catholic missionary, had sympathy on the natives and suggested that the blacks taken from Africa be used because
sympathy on the natives of the Western world, you know, and suggested that blacks from Africa be used. No disrespect to the rabbi. I don't think you have no sympathy on the natives. You have sympathy on the economy, like, hey, them Indians can't do the work, you know. You're not sympathy like, oh my, this is too hard on them. No, man. Boy, look, you fall for that. Sympathy on natives. They can't do the work. They cannot do the work. So we need some stronger mules. We need some heavy-duty equipment to do the work. That's all. If the backhoe can't do the work, we need the excavator to do the work. That's all. Ain't no sympathy on nobody. I'm sorry, Rabbi. Love you, but no.
In his opinion, they were strong.
De la Casa, you talking about? What's his name? Bartholomew de la Casas.
Stronger and doing similar work in the same climatic conditions. So about 50 to 250 blacks were taken from Spain to Hispaniola, where they were tried. And true to Bartolomeo de las Casas' claim, they proved physically strong, which made the demand for Africans rise.
Me tell you.
And this
Thanks, Casas.
began the unfortunate story of misery and pain.
Oh my.
The story of the forced exodus of Africans and blacks from their motherland to the world's unknown.
Oh my.
What we call the transatlantic slave trade. There are about 16 preserved forts and 3 castles in Ghana. 40 of these structures was built by the Europeans in West Africa. Out of the 40, about 30 of these structures were built in Ghana, mainly because of our gold. The Elmina Castle is the oldest structure in West Africa, built by the Portuguese around 1482. It is the biggest, oldest, and largest castle in Ghana. The second, which is in Accra, the Christiansborg Castle in Osu, was built by the Danes in 1662. The third, Cape Coast Castle, built by the British in 1665.
So you got the Elmina Castle Portuguese in 1482. Christiansborg Castle by the Danes in 1662. Cape Coast Castle by the British in 1665. Now what I'm saying here, let me just wrap this up now. Time to seal it up. We have chiefs, our good Sister Edith Olaladeli, right here in Antigua. she, of course, as you know from what we speak of her, has visited Cameroon, and the chiefs in Cameroon, because a lot of people here in Antigua itself are from the area of Cameroon. The chiefs in Cameroon, they have asked for forgiveness for whatever part their people may have played in the great Holocaust that took place upon us. We all know Ghana as well. Some of these African countries as governments has apologized, our brothers. And that's just on the world scene. I mean, if in reality you have a discourse, some sort of problem, then I should say, because this is in the course. So you have a problem with your brother, or your sister, or your mother, or your father. And even if it's not a well-kept secret and it, somehow sneaks out and leaks out and some people get a wind of it. Unless you are trying to assist the family problem, you should keep out. Even if you are a member of the extended family. If you're just bringing it up so that we can remember the wounds, hush your mouth. That's how I believe it. This is a war. We're fighting for our lives. See, we're fighting for with our reparation. This is a battle. We're fighting for the minds of our little children, those who are not even born yet. Our motherland and all the minerals and all those people in the motherland, the young ones that are just born, them that born yesterday, that born under gunfire and gunshot and kidnapping to have children, picking cocoa and digging up cobalt and cassiterite and diamonds. We did a whole program on Congo. Please go into the YouTube and check the video that we applied to the Radio Anu program as we dealt with the economic state of the black nation, and we directly spoke of Congo. Understand? I'm saying that these are our brothers and sisters, So even if one's decided to apologize, that's up to them. We give thanks. I mean, if you are, come on, man. That's my brother. And that's my sister. So, how we settle our business, you hear them apologize for themselves. How we settle our business, ain't no business of nobody else. That's family business. That's family affair. What on earth does that have to do with anybody else? And if you snickering and grinning for the enemy, you're almost not in the family anymore. So it's none of your business neither. That's how I personally see this. And that is why I react so to these statements about who sell who into slavery. This is a war, man. And the war was really in process there. Hear what the rabbi said, them cannibals came in, grinning and skinning as if they were something else. And then it was all out war. Don't act as if you don't know the history. It was all out war. And I don't want to go deep into it like some of our scholars, but you don't know how the situation go. It's either you or me. It was all out war. So we within ourselves as Africans, I think we have we got nothing to prove to the world. And we do this and we need to address that first. That done address. What are you talking about? Need to address what? You gonna stop the train to address that? And we gonna fall for that dumb vibes? We gonna waste money on conference to deal with that? we safe. We safe. This is one of them cases if you want to promote this theory of Africans selling Africa. It's a theory. This is one of them cases where the prodigal son come home and say, Dad, I'm sorry. And say, hey, shh. It's all right. Welcome home, my son. Bam! So don't be bringing that foolishness up to me. That ain't my discussion. I ain't wasting no time. In fact, we've dedicated this so you heard for yourself. Anybody that leaves this conversation and still be talking about Africans, enslaved Africans, trust me, I don't even want to say what should happen to you. No, let me leave. I'll reserve it. I'll reserve it. I will reserve it. But it would show that you are hell-bent on distracting the progress of the black African nation by throwing a monkey wrench, well, it does begin with W, into the wheel. Yeah. To stop the progress and stop the whole momentum. Talking about, oh, don't forget that Africans sold Africans into slavery. We had slaves before, you know. Yeah. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, see the clock upon the wall. How that song go? An ever-changing time. Yes, do give thanks for the life giver and the keeper of life. And of course, you know, as I said, definitely subscribe if you're not a subscriber to the Shock of the Hour and get your program each and every evening. You know, the Shock of the Hour is recorded every evening, specifically Monday to Thursday, to be more precise. And of course, you know, the information and the inspiration is key. We have some top-notch program coming up and still and coming up, as you can see at the moment here. And we have a lot of different things that we are really looking to cover. A lot more video lectures coming out, which the subscribers do get one time. So, I mean, all you got to do is contact me again. Email precisaac27@gmail.com and everything goes clear. And remember the book Anu, the ebook Anu Ancient and Modern, plus the true biblical land of Israel. If you do not have any understanding of any of these manuscripts, all you got to do is visit our YouTube site and you know, just go through the videos and you'll find videos on these subject areas. Or if you can't scroll through the hundreds of videos that are there at the moment, well, you can just type it in. You know, as I said, the true biblical land of Israel, the videos will pop up. The book Anu, Ancient and Modern, the videos will come up and they will tell you exactly, if you are agreeing to this information, they will give you more information as it relates to these manuscripts, definitely. Of course, the Night of the Black Tiger, snippets of such is also on the YouTube, so you could check that out as well. The Night of the Black Tiger is definitely also available for you. That is the latest or the third of our full-length documentaries, The Divinity of Marcus Messiah Garvey, and of course the Master of Ceremony, and the 7 also available, The Divinity of Haile Selassie I and The Divinity of King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, respectively. So we do give thanks. You could definitely order all of these products from us. Remember the great kings and queens of Africa. Definitely children book for your children, you know, man. E-children's book, so all the information I'm giving you here is definitely through the email, electronic mail. You will get it. And remember, subscribe again and get all the Shock of the Hours straight to your desktop, your computer, your phone, in your inbox, in your email. Do give thanks once again. The 21st of March, the equinox coming up. Gear yourself, gird your loins, get ready. We are going again, Greencastle Hill. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari.
Yeah, well, even the 2000 years still, all of these things being plagiarized, you know. But you have Christ before even 2000 years, you know. True. Well, his father named Asar, you know, and his mother named Aset. You see, so, you know, most of these things being plagiarized from there, you know, so at the black Madonna, you know, and then couldn't go around. Like Christ. Then try to put it now to the white. That the Christ white from the 2000 years. But we the mark time from that's mark the star, the Dogon star.
Oh, the serious.
The Dogon star. So that time, yeah, you know, that time was 7,018 to 2018, no? Yeah, 7,018, not 2018. That is Babylon time of the birth of an individual. But when we do mark time was 7,000 years ago, when the star rise, you know. So within the land now, we don't have anything from the sea.
Okay. Anything at all?
No, you don't, even the sea match. You know it at this time. So your temperature feel a little weak. This time, but it's a building. You see, it's a building, you know, so that little weakness don't watch it. If you can hang out to that Good Friday, if I feel like you don't want to go and come out, the powers that you feel now.
But now, like now we doing the 12 to 2. You know, so man. So, but any specific reason why I stick to that one?
Yeah, because when Jamaica moved now, the man, they never serious. When I look for my brethren, them who was 12 to 2, because we all start there.
Yeah.
Then we're going to do a couple weeks and look like I catch them beating. So I say, I'm going to do it like how I don't know if I used to do it.
So how that whole breaks down. So how Jai used to do it?
Fasting. How many services there and I when we join on the altar and all these things upon place and things.
Yeah.
What my service and these things.
And the altar with the Father.
I'm not sure. I'm really putting because more time there is to avoid when I have some fasting and coconut water with them. See? The man say a miracle there work. You see to the amount of people.
Okay, say that again. You know, give me that one more time. That's some fast with
Coconut water.
Jelly?
Jelly water. Jelly coconut.
break the fast with it.
Yeah. When overcome, break fast, jelly coconut water there, use a break fast. And use a piece of yes, all the type of prayer and fasting we go to the Father, and I see, as man say, a miracle jar work more time, because the amount of people and children, everybody will gather to go to the fast there, and make them more time, just might have a half dozen jelly, or maybe more than that still. That's what I say.
See.
But yeah, but it's everyone get a tip on them tongue, you see it, and quench them thirst, you see it. So all these kind of fasting that run around, you see it. Many standards just set and lift up the thing higher and higher every time, you see it.
to fast and pray and go through because I'm not 40 days fast and pray. This is run fast and pray up here for 2 years straight. You know. As one fasting come
2 years?
2 years straight.
For 2 years?
Yeah.
And service not coming down.
And service not come down.
Yes.
Yeah. As one fasting come down, the Virgin of my show.
You said the 3 months will be the record.
Eh? 3 months?
Yeah.
Nah man, 2 years straight. As one fasting come down, the Virgin of my said, Jah, we feel like Jah come like we don't go up on it again. And Jah say, yeah man, by Wednesday, no? We'll start again, you know?
And it come down, man, and feel so powerful.